I'm barely able to even make it to the bathroom. And once I get there, I'm at the point where it's getting hard to fit through the door, mostly because of my stomach.
After taking a shower, I'm breathing heavily. I'm trying to catch my breath. My heart is low, my heart rate. I'm scared that my heart, that's the first thing that's gonna go.
Samantha is living a waking horror show, isolated on the second floor of her apartment, unable to leave. She weighs an unknown, terrifying amount, struggles to squeeze into her tiny bathroom, and relies on a wooden stick to reach everywhere in the bath. She hasn't stood in a shower in 12 years. Her fear is legitimate. If she falls, she's trapped, hoping she doesn't die before help comes.
And it's still something I haven't gotten over to this day. Because in his final years, my dad and I had grown really close. And he came to me before he died and said, "I am so sorry."
The narrative turns devastating. Her father, an abusive alcoholic, found a small window to seek forgiveness before he died in a motorcycle crash. The grief was so consuming that Samantha abandoned her young daughter Bella to her mother and binged her way past 600 pounds. The ultimate tragedy? Her addiction became her new job, modeling for fetishists who pay her to eat on camera, reinforcing the habit that nearly killed her in the first instance. She's trading her life for validation.
Samantha's lifestyle, it's such a trial for Isabella. It's been one bad decision after another. And I finally realized about 3 years ago.
Samantha's mother, the one who saved her from suicide, completely gives up and calls Dr. Now. She confesses that the modeling is just bad decision after bad decision, and she's had enough. But the real villain? The job itself. Samantha films herself eating massive cakes, getting praised and paid to get bigger. She's found a community that actively cheers on her self-destruction. This external sick encouragement, this fat fame, is the most toxic enabler of all. She's killing herself for likes.
It breaks my heart seeing my mom just kind of lose mobility. I don't know how to describe my emotion today.
She is still ordering massive feasts from the hospital cafeteria. A Caesar salad, 2 huge helpings of watermelon, cottage cheese, a Pepsi, chocolate milk, and carrot cake. Then she rings Dr. Now to explain why she missed their appointment, immediately collapsing into self-pity about her physical decline. She is literally ordering her next binge while complaining about her body breaking down.
Sometimes you do the math, you've probably eaten the food that belonged for the next 4 years ahead of time. What do you mean you're gonna stop?
Dr. Now hits the eating is your life problem with cold, hard logic. When Samantha cries that she feels she is starving, Dr. Now cuts her off with one devastating calculation. She has enough stored fat to survive for 4 years without eating anything. Then, the weight reveal, a staggering 940 pounds, gained in the hospital. She literally got bigger while under observation. The addiction is monstrous, but her blatant sabotage is mind-boggling.
Well, so right now, to travel without medical care is not an option for you. But we are still facing the issue that there is no available.
Dr. Now has seen enough. He points out that she is already past 900 pounds and still eating whatever she wants. He also says that her body is giving up and she has no plan for getting better. He gives her a final, impossible ultimatum: lose 250 pounds in 2 months just to be physically transportable to Houston. It's a do or die, lose 125 pounds a month or die in Denver scenario. What more can he do?
I'm just really scared. Like, I'm overwhelmed right now. It's gonna be a lot of things. Food is my entire life.
The most heartbreaking scene is Samantha breaking down to Dr. Now, confessing her ultimate fear: "I don't know what I am without food." The tears are genuine, not manipulative, and they reveal the raw terror beneath the mountain of flesh. Food is her identity, her relationship, her coping mechanism, and the only thing she believes gives her purpose. It's a moment of devastating vulnerability.
These past months have been a huge change for me because getting weight loss surgery saved my life. When the stay-at-home stuff started, I started to get scared I wasn't going to be able to get weight loss surgery.
Dr. Now arranged a sleeve gastrectomy for her in Denver due to the COVID crisis and her inability to travel. She's down to a stunning 638, lightest she's been in 15 years. But, always a but, she is immediately plunged into deep depression. The surgery worked, but her emotional dependency remains. Finding the absence of binging worse than I thought. The external solution is complete, but the internal war is just beginning.
She is losing, but she has come to a standstill in the past couple weeks. She has not lost as much as I expected in the last couple weeks.
So what do you think her weight is now?
The good news is monumental. She's lost 500 pounds total and can now walk without the terrifying crutch of the hospital bed rails. Dr. Now is thrilled with the physical transformation, calling her recovery an absolute miracle. However, the emotional work is barely underway. Sam is still resisting the psychotherapy needed to conquer the emotional eating. She's been given a new life, an unearned reward, but if she can't mend the mind, that new body will eventually succumb to the same old patterns. It's a cliffhanger of hope and dread.
If I'm gonna take a good shower, Alicia helps. Or if Deja's here, Deja is 19 and she's in college, so she's in and out of the house here.
It's not just that Kenai can't walk. She needs teenagers to perform the most basic acts of hygiene for her. Can you imagine the sheer pride-swallowing horror of having a child wash you because you literally cannot reach your own body? This isn't living. It's a prison of flesh where the inmates are your own family members, forced into service. This is a 5-alarm fire of a situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is functioning at all.
I just always figured that once I found someone that I wanted to settle down with, I'd get pregnant, we'd have kids, we'd go on with life.
The 1-2 punch of infertility and a mother's death creates a black hole of grief so vast, she's been filling it with food ever since. The most heartbreaking part? Her weight has become a physical cage, preventing her from even visiting her own mother's grave. She's literally too large to say a proper goodbye. This isn't just about being overweight anymore. It's about a soul so crushed by loss that it built a fortress of fat around itself for protection.
Nobody tell you that? Okay.
No one's gonna step on my toes.
Well, the dynamic seems to be that you get everyone to enable you.
You have got to be kidding me. When Dr. Now asks who does the cooking, Kenai proudly declares she runs the entire food operation for a house of 9 people. And, surprise, surprise, she's making everyone, including the children, overweight. This isn't a family. It's a codependent food cult with her as the high priestess. She uses them as a cover for her own addiction, creating a whole household of enablers so she never has to face the truth. It's absolute systemic madness, enabled by a spatula.
Okay.
Okay? But the goal I'm giving you is to lose 75 pounds in 2 months, okay?
Is that feasible to lose?
Well,
Thank goodness Dr. Now doesn't just see a patient. He sees the entire dysfunctional ecosystem she's created. He lays it all out with zero sugarcoating, a 1,200 calorie diet, high protein, no carbs, and mandatory exercise. He's not just giving her a diet plan, he's handing her the only key that can unlock her from her prison. The question is, does she even have the strength left to turn it? He's the only voice of sanity in this whole chaotic mess.
all right. So, how's everything going with you?
Okay, I guess.
Okay. Well, in past 2 months, you lost 22 pounds.
Of course. The first follow-up appointment is an absolute train wreck. After 2 months, she's lost a pathetic 22 pounds. Barely anything. The excuses come pouring out immediately. A weak cascade of complaints about her diet and how she just can't follow the plan. Dr. Now's face says it all. He's looking at someone who isn't even trying. This isn't a struggle. It's a surrender. She heard the wake-up call and decided to hit the snooze button. You can't help someone who refuses to help themselves.
Hurt. They hurt because I was 600 pounds. They hurt because I have ruined them. All of this is my fault.
Okay, that's not motivation
wait,
for you.
please.
Now this is the breakdown we needed to see. Pushed to the absolute brink by Dr. Now, Kenai finally cracks. But it's not the usual manipulative waterworks. This is a raw, guttural scream of accountability. She wails that it's her own fault that she's fat, a full-throated admission of responsibility that she has been avoiding for decades. This isn't a plea for pity, it's a confession. The denial has finally shattered, and in the rubble, maybe, just maybe, something new can finally be built. That's the turning point.
I bet you're wondering what took me so long to write or to talk to you. Honestly, I've been sad and angry. Life without you sucks.
After her therapy session, Kenai finally confronts the source of her pain. She gets in the car and does what her weight has forbidden for years. She goes to her mother's gravesite. Reading that letter aloud is more than just an assignment. It's an exorcism of 6 years of repressed grief and guilt. Every step from the car to that headstone was a victory. She's not just losing pounds anymore. She's shedding the immense weight of her sorrow, and it is a truly incredible thing to witness.
If he tells me this isn't a good thing, because it is a progress, And that's a good thing no matter what he says.
And there it is. The hard work pays off in a big way. Kenai steps on the scale, and the progress is undeniable. She has lost 71 pounds, smashing her goal. And for the first time, Dr. Now looks genuinely proud. He tells her she's just a few more pounds away from being approved for the life-saving surgery. This isn't just a number on a scale, it's validation. It's the tangible proof that her emotional breakthrough has triggered a real physical transformation. This is the moment she earned, one agonizing decision at a time.
I know I still have a lot of work to do to get to my goal, so I'm working hard to keep heading in a positive direction. You know, I'm working on my diet and my exercises every day.
In the end, the story isn't even about the surgery anymore. Though a heart condition puts the operation on hold, the victory is already won. Look at her. She's playing basketball with her nephews, going to church with her husband, and reclaiming pieces of her life she thought were gone forever. She realized that the goal wasn't a smaller stomach, it was a bigger life. Kenai is proof that even if the path changes, the journey to save yourself is always worth it. She did the work, period.
If I ever get to that point where I'm not going to bathe, then that's me saying I give up. And I don't want to let things get to that point, but it's still extremely hard for me to do.
We open on the usual scene of utter misery. Here we have Travis, a man so large that the simple act of bathing is a Herculean task requiring his wife, Yasmin, to act as a personal hygienist. You can see the shame radiating off him. This isn't living. It's a slow-motion suicide happening on a living room couch. He talks about his heart giving out, and frankly, you can see why. Every breath is a struggle, and every moment is just a prelude to the next meal that makes it all worse.
Until my dad left my mom, so my mother worked a lot to provide for her. Most of the time, all I had was my older brother, Gerard. So I could eat as much as I want, and there was no one there to stop me.
And here it is, the trauma origin story. A childhood soaked in the chaos of his parents' constant fighting, followed by his father leaving entirely. But the real twist of the knife? His older brother, his only real ally, abandons him to go live with that same father. You can practically see the moment his young mind decided food was the only thing that wouldn't leave him. This isn't just about being hungry, it's about filling a wound that has been...
So that's a primary issue we have to change if you want to lose weight. So if you can barely get around now, who takes care of you all day?
festering since he was a little boy. Enter Dr. Now, the only person on this show who speaks the language of reality. He immediately cuts through the nonsense, telling Travis his body is on the verge of complete collapse. He doesn't just diagnose the physical problem, he targets the toxic dynamic with Yasmin, warning her that avoiding conflict is killing her husband. He sets the goal, a staggering 70 pounds loss in 2 months, establishing himself as the only source of sanity in this whole mess. The wake-up call has been delivered.
Do that, but I go to the store and get this stuff. Even when you don't ask for stuff, I get it for you, and I'm part of the damn problem, and that hurts.
Yasmin finally has her breakdown, the moment of clarity where she realizes she's not his caretaker, she's his primary enabler. She's the one buying the food, handing him the poison, and then getting angry that he's dying. It's the classic codependent cycle, mistaking placating his addiction for love. She's been an active participant in his destruction out of a desire to avoid conflict, and now that guilt is hitting her like a freight train, and honestly, about time.
It's at least a loss, but with how hard I've been working, I thought it'd be greater. So I wasn't expecting to see such a high number on the scale still.
Of course, the first big test arrives, and it's a complete failure. Travis steps on the scale, and he's lost a pathetic 24 pounds, not the 70 he was assigned. He mumbles something about cheating a little bit, which is like saying the Titanic had a minor leak. This isn't defiance, this is the raw power of addiction. His lifelong coping mechanism went head-to-head with Dr. Now's plan, and for this round, the addiction won. It's a harsh reminder that this journey is a brutal fight.
And this time I'm nervous. From how far off my weight loss was from last time from what I thought. This time I'm not sure what to expect. All I know is that I've been working my hardest.
Now this is the breakthrough. After the humiliation of his last visit, Travis actually did the work. He gets on the scale, and he hasn't just met the goal, he's crushed it, losing 77 pounds. Look at the pure, unadulterated relief on his face. This is the moment he proved to himself that he can do this. This wasn't just about changing his diet, this was a fundamental emotional shift. He finally decided that living was more important than eating his feelings. That's a real victory.
The psychological issue that drove you to eat is going to come to surface. So your cravings are only going to get worse until you deal with the issues that have been behind your drive to eat most of your life.
Just as things look good, Dr. Now delivers another dose of tough love. Travis's post-surgery weight loss stalls, and Dr. Now immediately identifies the real problem, the unaddressed psychological issues. He tells him point blank that the surgery is just a tool, and without therapy to fix what's broken in his head, he will fail. This isn't a threat, it's a prescription. He's forcing Travis to stop focusing on his stomach and start focusing on the emotional baggage that's still weighing him down.
I realized that I was blaming you for something you had no control over. It had nothing to do with you. You were just a kid too, you know, and I know talking these things out really helps.
This is the real work. Forget the scale, forget the surgery. This phone call is the most important step he's taken. Travis confronts the pain of his past by talking to his brother, admitting he blamed him for years of hurt. By letting go of that bitterness and apologizing, he's performing emotional surgery on himself. He's removing a toxic resentment that has fueled his addiction for decades. This shows a level of maturity and self-awareness that proves he is truly, finally healing from the inside out.
But I'm really excited because I haven't been to the movies in over 7 years. Going anywhere like this would have been a disaster because I wouldn't have been able to fit in the seats. So doing this shows how far I've come. I'm getting around without getting winded and without getting out of breath.
And here is the payoff. After a full year, Travis is taking his wife on a date to the movies, something he hasn't been able to do in 7 years. Why? Because he literally couldn't fit in the seat. Now, he slides right in. This simple, normal act is the ultimate symbol of his success. It's not just about losing over 200 pounds, it's about reclaiming a life. He's no longer a prisoner in his own body. He is finally free, and it is incredible to watch.
And the reason why I do it that way is because I can only stand up for about 5 minutes. And I have slipped and fallen in the tub before. So I try to take as much measures.
Okay, we are diving right into the deep end of misery. Antrion's daily routine is a carefully managed symphony of pain and exhaustion. He has to do a pre-wash while sitting on a stool because he can't stand in the shower for more than 5 minutes. A shower is a monumental task that wipes him out completely. Imagine the simple act of getting clean being the most athletic thing you do all day. How is this living? This isn't a life. It's a prison sentence he's serving inside his own body.
My grandfather up and had a stroke and died. And food definitely became more of a comfort. So dealing with the grief of that.
And here is the trauma that kickstarts the whole disaster. His grandfather dies from a stroke when he's just 12. Then his estranged father dies of a heart attack. The emotional void left behind becomes a black hole he tries to fill with food. It's the classic playbook, turning grief into gluttony because nobody taught him another way to cope. It's sad, sure, but it also explains the 30-year pattern of self-destruction. The foundation was built on pain, and food was the only building material he had.
It's good for you, Tron.
You need to put that back. We don't eat rabbit food. We're moving. She's been watching out and she wants to be healthy.
Oh look, it's the enabler-in-chief. His wife, Musa. In the grocery store, he's like a kid begging for candy, and she's the long-suffering parent. He wants sweets, and she has to physically stop him. But then she's getting him a chair to rest in the middle of the aisle. You're watching a tug-of-war where one side is an addict's craving, and the other is a spouse's weak attempt at discipline. Spoiler alert, the addiction always wins when the enabler is this exhausted. This whole dynamic is just broken.
So to get you started, I'm going to give you a 1,200 calorie diet that is high protein, low carb. I'm going to walk you through it, and I want you to start that immediately.
Thank heavens Dr. Now has arrived to slice through the nonsense with his scalpel of truth. He listens to Antrion's vague promises and instantly sees through the act. He calls him out, telling him that words are meaningless without action. He hands him the 1,200 calorie diet and a set of exercises, making it crystal clear that there's no magic pill. It's about time someone spoke a language this man can't ignore. The rules are set. The game is on. Now, let's see how fast he breaks them.
I know that me and my wife, we discussed about protein shakes. And I know that I've been drinking some protein shakes. And
are you even surprised? Of course not. At the follow-up, Musa spills the beans immediately. He lasted a whole 3 days on the diet before deciding he knew better. He started guzzling protein shakes and eating peanut butter, claiming it was part of the plan. He's not just cheating, he's rewriting the rule book to justify his addiction. He's arguing with the one person trying to help him, using pure delusion as his defense. The self-sabotage is already running at full throttle. This is just pathetic.
And find a way to figure out what is behind all those emotional issues that drive you to eat. And at this point, we've done all we can, but you haven't responded to it.
After getting caught in his lies and gaining even more weight, here comes the waterworks. He talks about his frustration, his disappointment, how this hurts him more than anyone. This isn't a breakthrough, it's a performance. He's trying to generate sympathy to deflect from the fact that he has done absolutely nothing. Crying is not a substitute for dieting, and feeling frustrated doesn't burn calories. It's a textbook manipulation tactic to make everyone feel sorry for him, so they'll back off. I'm not buying it for a second.
The one to follow the instruction and do the right thing for your own good to save your life. If you don't want to save your life, kill yourself with the food.
Dr. Now is done playing games. He lays it out in the starkest terms possible. This isn't just about weight loss. It's a life or death situation. He tells Antrion that with his health issues, who knows if he'll even be alive in 4 months. A simple cold or a sprained ankle could lead to him being bedridden, which would be the end. This is the brutal, unfiltered reality check Antrion has been avoiding. It's a final warning shot, a plea for him to wake up before he ends up in a casket.
So I decided to grab me something sweet to help me out with that process. It's the little reward that'll help me stay focused. So David wrote the book of Psalms.
So his therapy, homework, is to write a sermon about grief. And how does he prepare? By going to a coffee shop and ordering a massive sugary drink and a cinnamon bun. This is supposed to be his moment of emotional reckoning, and he's using it as an excuse to indulge. He's literally medicating his feelings with sugar while supposedly working through them. Do you see the insanity here? This isn't progress. It's just the same destructive cycle wrapped in a religious-themed package. Utterly delusional.
Okay, we're gonna go to room 5.
It feels like no matter what I do, it's not gonna be good enough. I can't help but feel that I messed up my chances because I know that Dr. Now would not be happy.
The grand finale. After 7 months of trying, he steps on the scale one last time. And the verdict? He weighs more now than when he first walked in. He has gained weight. It's a total, catastrophic failure. Dr. Now finally dismisses him from the program because you can't help someone who refuses to help themselves. Antrion wasted everyone's time, including his own. He was given the tools to save his life and chose to eat himself to death instead. A truly hopeless case. Period.